Imbalie Beauty was formerly known as Skinwell and Plasticol and is principally a beauty salon franchisor. Its brands include Dream Nails, Perfect 10 and Plasticol. Imbalie has a market cap of 83 million rand, a price to earnings ratio of 22, but pays no dividends. So Paul, pretty small within the sector.
Yeah, I know the management team here quite well. Esna Collane, the CEO, was a corporate financier. They helped list this business, the original Plasticol. And when it fell on its face, they got involved. She decided she'd rather be an operational CEO. So it's an interesting little company. They had lots of refinancing and restructuring to do, but they've since kind of dragged themselves back up onto their feet. They did the deal recently to buy Perfect 10. So the model is really salons and nail bars inside of malls as well as inside of a couple of pharmacies, Edgar's and that sort of thing. And it's a franchise model, so they look for people who want to run these things. And it's a nice category. It's a small company. Tradability is very limited, mostly shares held by the management team. The only other thing interesting to add is that the new non-executive chairperson of the board is someone called Hilda Lunderstedt, who sold her business Neutralida to Adcock Ingram for like 300 million rand. And Hilda is now the non-executive chairman here, put some cash in the business. But as it happens, it's just been appointed the CEO of a company called Inco Labs, which owns Dermalogica and a couple other things. So you can see this is a smaller business, but quite interesting. And the share price has done quite well. It's at 25 cents, although I understand that it only makes, according to those price to earnings ratios, sort of 1 and a bit cents a share of earnings now. So it's kind of in turnaround mode, but the share price is also already fairly elevated.
What do you make of the turnaround right now, Chris?
Yeah, look, I'm always a little bit suspect of companies like this, you know, where on the one hand it looks like a bit of kind of frippery and stuff like that. Having said that, you know, I'm also cognizant of the fact that you could encompass this with what's called the lipstick factor. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but when you get into a kind of recessionary or semi-recessionary times, people actually go out and blow a lot of money on exactly these type of things. So as Paul says, it's probably quite a good business. I'm just a little bit concerned about the quality of the earnings here.
Paul?
Look, they have competition out there, that's for sure. So the Dermalogica ones, there's another company called Sorbet, which has done very well in recent years. It was a guy who, you know, fell out of some other business and fell onto this. So the idea that you kind of combine massage and a bit of a beauty treatment and all that in the malls is taking off. So I think they can continue to do well. And I think they've done a lot of work. And Esna is an extremely hard-working CEO who has really sweated bullets to get this thing back on its feet, to chop and cut away brands that were not doing well, or not so much brands, but stores, you know, in malls that were going nowhere or in bad locations. So I think they can do well. The only thing is when you're looking at a company with 83 million market cap with like a 16,000 rands a day turnover, it's one of those shares that's relatively easy to buy, but not always so easy to sell. So unless you're an ultra long-term investor looking for, you know, penny stocks you're prepared to be committed to forever, I wouldn't go here. But disclosing that I know the people well and therefore I'm a bit conflicted, I think it's one of the more interesting small cap opportunities out there.
So are you hot on it?
I'm happy to give it the hot. Nice category, good management team.
Chris, hot or not?
No, unfortunately, I think I'd have to see a much better track record as far as the earnings growth is concerned. So I wouldn't be hot on it now.
So one hot and one not on Imbalie Beauty.